Canadian soldier Master Corporal Chris Downey was severely wounded in Afghanistan. He was lucky to survive. The incident killed his close friend. Downey is one of 2 Canadian soldiers participating in a race to the South Pole this month to raise money for wounded soldiers. And among those he'll be racing, Prince Harry. Ian Hannah-Mansing spoke to Downey about what happened the day that he was injured.
Basically, it was May 3rd of 2010. I was deployed in Afghanistan as an EOD operator, part of a team that's responsible for basically getting rid of IEDs and roadside bombs and that kind of thing. And on that day, we were called out to another mission. We did that mission successfully, and unfortunately, while we were walking on our way back, it was about a 2-kilometer walk back to our vehicles, we were hit by an IED ourselves. It instantly killed my really good friend and teammate, Petty Officer, 2nd Class, Douglas Craig Blake. And for myself, I suffered some pretty major injuries, which include the loss of my right eye, most of my teeth, part of my jaw, my gums, part of my lip, 2 aneurysms, my right ear was severed pretty badly, right hand was shattered, burn and shrapnel wounds just about both arms, both legs, upper body, and a collapsed lung as part of the list.
Hard, obviously, for me, or I'm sure people watching to relate to that kind of incident and the injuries that you had to deal with. At what point did you realize what had happened to you? Was it hours later? Was it days later?
No, it was pretty much instant. Actually, when the blast went off, you know, the feeling or the sensation of it was it went completely silent. My body felt like it was completely on fire, just the most intense heat you've ever felt. And every muscle in my body was tensing up as hard as it physically could. And then the impact of the ground, then all the noise came rushing back, the pain, the fear, everything just came rushing in. And because my job is in that field of explosives, and I knew what had happened. I was not aware that my teammate Craig had been hit at all. I just knew that I was one of the ones that got hit.
And did you lose consciousness from that point on, between then and the hospital?
Not at all. I actually was conscious the entire time. I got only a small glimpse of a pair of boots running towards me, and then somebody yelled at me to close my eyes. They could tell the severe damage I had to my face and my eyes. So that was the last thing I saw, and then for the rest of the time I just felt, smelt, and heard everything. I mean, panic set in because I couldn't recognize anybody, didn't know who was touching me until my team leader started talking to me, and then I knew that at least it was somebody I knew and friendly forces, so to speak, that were taking care of me. And then I heard the 6 men carry me struggle the entire way. I could hear everything.
And then what's the next step in your journey? There must have been some place they took you to where they started to deal with triage, do the best they could, kind of in the field somewhere. Where was that?
Well, initially, pretty much the initial life-saving stuff was done right there on the spot with our medic and one of my teammates, Rick Kraut. He's a phenomenal young guy, and they pretty much did the initial life-saving. Then I was picked up by a helicopter. I couldn't land, unfortunately, because of where we were at, so they actually had to carry me to a certain spot and then hoist me up into a helicopter. Then off to CAF, the main base there, where I was sent right into the Roll 3 hospital, the main hospital we have there, and straight into surgery for almost 14 hours, I believe. And then I woke up 3 days later in Germany at the next main hospital.
There's so much about your story which is moving and poignant, including the picture you have of your friend, your colleague, not long before this bomb went off.
Absolutely, yeah. I took that picture probably about 40 minutes before we got hit. And for anybody that knows me, they know that I am a horrible picture taker. And I literally just took the camera, turned towards him, said, "Hey, Craig." He, did his typical thing. I took a picture, put it back in my pocket, and luckily that camera survived the blast. Actually, the memory card survived, but the camera didn't really. And that's the last picture of Craig, unfortunately. And I couldn't be happier that I took that picture, because it's been used just about everywhere, and it truly is him. It represents him to a T. With his crooked helmet and sort of his smirk and stuff. It was him.
You made a vow to him, as I understand it, after you had been hit, once you were in hospital. Tell me about that.
Yeah, eventually when I woke up in the hospital and started to be kind of sort of conscious of what was going on, the nursing staff there, was trying to see if I knew what was going on, where I was at, and that's when Christine, the main nurse, informed me that Craig was killed in the blast. And initially I was crushed, and once I kind of got my composure, I made a promise on the spot to Craig that I wouldn't waste a single minute of my life or the gift that he gave me. I'm a big believer that his body absorbed enough of the blast that that's how I was able to survive.
Tomorrow we'll bring you part 2 of that interview. Downey will talk about the South Pole Allied Challenge, a 320-kilometer race against Prince Harry to raise money for the wounded members of the military.